Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest for me right now. Now, the first one here, if we go and take a look at the mini Dow future, last week we were looking for sort of pullbacks, so some more cautious on this market long, and I was looking for more pullbacks into the averages on the 4-hour chart, which we'll see has actually played out since last week. However, at the moment, the market's now up here around the sort of 17.5, sort of 50, 17.5, 75 to be precise. And if we come and take a look at this area here on the weekly chart, we can see that there is certainly a level there of some significant resistance in the past, and that's around sort of 17, sort of 770, that sort of area. And of course, it's not very far away from the high, the recent high, which is bang on 18,000. So certainly here on the weekly chart, market's looking very bullish. If anything, just a little bit overextended from the averages, but nothing sort of indicating that the trend here is about to change. If we come to the daily chart, we can see that and we noticed this last week, that from the sort of high to the recent high, we started to get a bit of divergence coming in here on the indicators, just indicating sort of a bit of potential weakness in the trend. Market's back into the averages now, so right back into that sort of spot at the moment where, as we can see, right the way back through the past, the market's found new momentum and we've got another move higher. So I want to come and take a look at the 4-hour chart and start to see what we can read on the 4-hour. So here on the 4-hour chart, we've got a number of levels in here that the market sort of tested before, sort of 17,400, 17 sort of 550, which we were looking at last week, and we can see that the market's now above that level. It's sort of made a new high and now it's come back in. Now when it's come back into this point, it's now made again at this moment a higher low again. So the structure of the trend here on the 4-hour is still long, but it is starting to look more decisively weaker in momentum than it has done in the past, and we can see that here with the indicator divergence that we see down here with the MACD and the RSI. So for this reason, I'm sort of very cautious about the market long. I do like it sort of continuing up towards sort of 18,000, but what I'd more be looking for is intraday opportunities and sort of looking at these key levels and seeing how price respects these. So 17,550 key level for me. I'm be keeping a close eye on this. I think if we get a support here and the market rallies from here to make new highs, I think we're easily going to see, or quite confidently move on towards the 18,000 level. If we can't hold 17,550, then I think we've got the next sort of move down here towards 1740, 17,200 respectively. So let's come and take a look at the currency futures now, and if we look at the yen, now the yen currency future here, we looked at this last week and we were looking at this range that we can see that the market's sort of been putting in here on the daily charts and sort of 4-hour charts too. What I was looking for was trend opportunities and trading opportunities as the market sort of moves between these sort of levels, and ultimately looking for a breakout either long or short. Now at the moment the market has just broken out long, so if we come and take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see on the weekly charts that the market's not particularly overextended from the averages. So we've just got a nice consolidation. We had the big move up, we've got this consolidation into the averages, indicators looking nice, and this doesn't look to be anything in the way for resisting the market moving significantly higher. So I do prefer this market higher at the moment. Here on the daily chart, because we've got that sort of breakout here and the market is a little bit overextended, what I'm more expecting here is a little bit of a consolidation or an advance and pullback and retest of the high of this level, maybe here on the intraday time frames, before looking for opportunities to get positioned long. So here we can see the consolidation levels that we were looking at last week. We can see that we've got a very well behaved good market structure here as the market's broken through the high of this level, and what I'm looking for is possibly a pullback into the sort of 30 level up here, looking for maybe some consolidation or retest here, and looking to get positioned to trade this market long. The other one that we were looking at, which I still think is an interesting market at this moment, is crude oil. Now, crude oil, there's a lot of news in the media around whether the market has bottomed out now and we can be looking forward to higher prices. I prefer to look at the charts and look at what price action is telling me. So if we look at the monthly chart here, we can see, well, the monthly chart's just in a clear downtrend, still looking nice short. If we come to the weekly chart, the weekly chart's a little bit different in the fact that now the market's made a higher high from the previous lower high, but other than that, the market has now just sort of pulled back into the moving averages, and now we started to have a couple of bearish weeks where the market started to sell off again. So at this moment in time, the weekly chart in my mind is looking a little bit indecisive. We're still back into those averages, still at that sort of potential turning point. So coming down to the daily, we can see here on the daily that the market has rolled over, and indeed on the lower time frames we can see that there will be a downtrend formed here. But there are a couple of market structure levels which are quite sort of interesting. So what we could do is we could sort of move this now level down to around the sort of 4270 area, 4280 area, where we can see that the market's certainly tested as resistance in the past. Market's now pulled under the key level that we were looking at last week, which was 3750, 3760 area, and we're now underneath it. So if we come and take a look at the 4-hour chart, again we can see that we've got some nice structure here. We've got the nice clear downtrend, but more recently we've got quite a rally in price. We haven't broken the previous lower high yet, but it's looking fairly close to doing that. So what we can do also is start to identify any sort of structure levels which are going to be sort of fairly key to this market, and I think we've got something around here around the 35 level. If I just sort of zoom out, we can see that the recent low actually sort of corresponds with right the way through back through here, where we've had many tests of this level in the past. So again, we've got our couple of levels there around 3750 and around the sort of 35 level. Couple of good structure levels that I'm keeping a close eye on. Obviously if we get a break above this and a continued rally higher, then I think we could have been putting a bottom in here and we could be looking for higher prices. If we come back down and re-break this 35 level, then I think we're probably going to be looking for a retest down here towards the lows. So I'll be looking for a continued opportunities short on this market. So let me come and tell you about the webinar event that we've got running later today. If we come to the TradeStation International website and you come over to the webinars tab, you'll find the sequence here, or the schedule here of webinars that we're running. Today's session is day trading the index futures. This is a 1-hour session. It's completely free of charge to join. What we'll be doing is taking a look at some practical techniques that we use to help us with day trading index futures, markets like the Dow, the S&Ps and the NASDAQ, etc. So if you'd like to come and join us on this event, all you need to do is to navigate to the web page here on TradeStationInternational.com, and you can then fill in your details here to register and join. Okay, so I hope you find it useful and certainly look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.